to story number 3 on our countdown. House showdown. House Speaker Mike Johnson said Friday it would be a dangerous gambit for the House to approve Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene's motion to vacate against him. Johnson also said that Democrats who back him are simply looking pragmatically at the issue because the world's on fire. Greene is planning on forcing a vote to oust Johnson in the coming days. Her effort is expected to fail after Democrat leaders said they would vote to protect the speaker, among a lot of GOP leaders as well. And President Trump also opposing the removal of Johnson. Let's bring in our panel to discuss. Jack Kingston, former Georgia congressman, also with us. We have Kate Monroe. Thank you guys so much for joining us. She is a U.S. Marine and California congressional candidate. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Congressman, let's start with you first. Only 2 House Republicans are publicly backing Greene's effort, and Senate Republicans are urging MTG to back off too. Kansas Senator Roger Marshall says it's a horrible idea, saying Moses couldn't do a better job than the speaker with a slim majority, and Democrats control the Senate and White House. He went on to say there's not a more conservative person over there that can be elected speaker than Mike Johnson. Ted Cruz also called Greene's move ridiculous and counterproductive. What do you think about all of this, sir?
Well, I watched her press conference the other day, and I can tell you, and you watched it too, I'm sure, Lydia, she was on fire. Thomas Massey as well, but she was really just very, very irate, emotional. She said that Johnson has portrayed them on 3 different things, having an omnibus vote instead of 12 separate packages, having the FISA vote, including voting against the warrant requirement. And then the final blow was the Ukraine vote. They want something. They want a win on spending or on the border or something like that. They have not gotten it, and that's what they're so mad about. Now, I think they may be looking for an off-ramp. If they can get something, she may back down. But based on what we know in her press conference the other day, that vote will happen. And I don't want to steal all the time, but I think there's about 30 primaries left. And if you're a Democrat or a primary in one of those races, this is going to come up on the campaign trail for everybody, and it puts, I think, Democrats as well as Republicans in a difficult position.
Kate, do you think MTG is going too far? What do you think about President Trump? He's against it. Ted Cruz, at this point, should Republicans be uniting and, be more focused? And that is to get President Trump back in the White House. What do you think?
I do think that they need to be more united. I mean, they already got rid of Speaker McCarthy, who is an excellent fundraiser, to replace him with Johnson. I really feel like if they think that somebody can do it better, one of them needs to step up. If they had pushed hard enough, they might have got Jim Jordan, but now they have Speaker Johnson. I mean, I agree in some regard that we should have got something done on the border. You know me, I'm going down with the razor wire on the border, so I'm all about that. And they didn't get any wins there, and it pissed them off, and I totally understand that. But one of you needs to step up, or you need to all be better leaders and get your fellow Republicans to do the right thing and get these votes through. So I agree with President Trump. This is not the time to oust another speaker.
And Congressman, in the last segment, we showed Joe Biden's weak response to the chaos on the college campuses. The speaker says Joe Biden is simply not doing enough to quell the violence. Let's take a look at what he said.
We desperately need, the country needs clear moral authority. We need the President of the United States to speak to the issue and say, this is wrong. What's happening on college campuses right now is wrong. It is un-American. It is not who we are. The President seems unable or unwilling to do that.
What do you think about that messaging, sir?
I'm 100% in agreement with Speaker Johnson on this. And President Biden was just kind of trying to placate 2 things. Keep in mind, the whole national policy is based on the 2 uncommitted voters in the presidential primary in Michigan. And everything they're doing is trying to not worry or not alienate that group who are pro-Palestinian. But if President Biden was serious about this, all he would have to do is, I am calling on these university presidents to get rid of these people, to close down these tent encampments. And if they don't do it, I'm going to cut their funding. And I can promise you, if he said, I will cut your funding if you don't enforce the law, it would end tomorrow. But they know as a rioter that they can get away with anything. They get this is like a traffic ticket. They can break into a building. They can make all kinds of demands. And if they're caught, it'll be like a traffic ticket. And President Biden, if he was serious about it, could have changed the whole thing and said to the universities, enforce the law or lose your funding, period. And then next week we would not have another incident.
Hit them where it hurts, in the pocketbook, right? In the bank accounts.
Yes.
And also we see that across the world in the Middle East, the mullahs, we're giving them a lot of our mullah, a lot of money there, not enforcing the oil sanctions. Kate Monroe, as a Marine yourself, we have less than a minute left. Do you think a lot of the kids that are out of control and the way they're talking and all the violence, it's kind of the soft parenting at its worst? Because I'm a parent myself, and I'm like, maybe these kids just don't understand consequences to their actions. That one student that came out and said, hey, we're rioting, but make sure you bring us some free food as well and bring us some drinks too, because we deserve that. They're so entitled.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of piss poor parenting going on. I'm the mom of a 7-year-old little boy. Mm-hmm. And looking at what's going on in these colleges, a lot of these young people thinking they're going to bend the knee to Islam and, transform their lives and suddenly be Islamic. We don't understand in our country the consequences of what is going on. We're losing a spiritual battle. Islam is going to spread like wildfire. Look what's going on in Europe. I would challenge all these young people. You need to go to class and get a good education and go get a good job and start a family and be part of the American dream and stop all this nonsense, all this Kool-Aid that you're drinking. It's not going to taste very good in 2 to 3 years when you're living under the revolution that you started.
Well said. We'll leave it right there. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Thanks, Lydia. Good luck, Kate.
Good luck, Kate.
Thank you.
Bidenomics.